Yo, what's up guys, Ben on Fire here, back with another video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys KerryQ's Singleback Deuce Close offensive scheme. We dropped that Henry one last video. You guys showed a ton of support on that, so thank you all for watching that, hitting that like button, showing support on that. And I asked in that video to go in the comments, let me know which scheme you want to see next, whether it's an offense or whether it's defense. And a lot of you guys said KerryQ's offense, so I'm going to bring that to you. We'll continue the theme. Let me know. There were a lot of other comments, that stuff I might also upload in that video's comments, but just let me know again in this video's comment section. As always, the written version of this offense will be down below, pinned in the comment section, so there will be a written version for you guys to look at. But we're going to be in the Singleback Deuce Close formation. Very good offense. Good offense. Been a good offense for years. And we're in the Washington offense. Now, similar to Henry, he did not just run Deuce Close. He audibled to things like wing pair, to things like Singleback trips. So he did audible to some different things, but we're only going to go in the Deuce Close, which was the main formation. And we have a variety of plays. We're going to start with our audibles. We got PA stretch shot, stretch, tight end angle, and PA misdirection. He also ran plays like stick, which you cannot see on the left there. He ran the halfback zone weak in the middle there. Halfback wham on the right, you have stretch on the left, and then that was pretty much it. So let's go ahead, get straight into the video. And alright, so here we are out on the field now. It's going to be a little bit confusing because it's a symmetrical formation, the hash marks and the way that you flip the play. So I did leave those in the actual written version on when to flip, when to do that certain stuff. But as far as the way that it's going to be written, it is in the Xbox version. If you want PlayStation, you can copy and paste it onto a separate document and search and replace those icons. So just for those people who want that. But the way that it's written is based upon this flipping, where you see the way that this looks is with the play going this way with that deep post on the right side. So this will be the same thing for all of these plays, I believe. I think I might have actually switched it for tight end angle, so I guess it might be a little bit confusing. I might want to change some of that. But we'll start out with the PA stretch shot this way. Now, we're going to go ahead, first things, get into the first setup. Smart route B, streak A, wheel RB, and then put X on a smart route in route. Now, we're going to go through pretty quick. We have around, I think, close to 15 setups, I want to say. So we do have a heavy amount of setups. So we're going to go through relatively quickly through these because we have a lot of things to get through. But this is the first setup, just overall solid play, and it's going to be a lot of basic routes. Now, I didn't really mention abilities, but I don't really necessarily think he used any super important abilities. I know he had a wide receiver apprentice that ultimately did not get used, but he did have one. I know he obviously had Gunslinger, he obviously had Escape Artist, but other than that, not too many things. Now, when you go to this play, this is going to automatically be a cover 3 beater just off the bat, and you'll see this play, this concept a lot more, but this is going to be a cover 3 beater. We're in cover 3. You have that wheel route, so ultimately it's going to beat cover 3. Now, Michael Thomas, not exactly the fastest wide receiver you see. Even he is able to get over the top. And, of course, things like hash marks can make a difference. I'm slightly on this right hash to where the wheel routes are going to the outside, which would be the left side in this case. But, and again, that's another thing to keep in mind with this flipping. So you can kind of roll out here. And sometimes, I'm not exactly sure why it didn't get open. I think some receivers got bumped. But you're not only looking for the cover 3 beater. You saw in that first play, we went ahead through it a little bit earlier. To the wheel route, and of course you have a little seam streak that you can throw, or you can kind of fit in this in route, which is going to be a lot easier in game. And these routes are also going to be pretty good against man coverage. The in route, the deep post, and then that wheel will all beat man coverage pretty well. So I'll show it one more time, see if we can get the cover 3 beater to work a little bit better here. And again, since you are blocking that tight end, you should automatically kind of get a double team. But you see, just really good separation. Should be a good catch. If you have a little bit more throw power, Wilson doesn't exactly have the most throw power. And again, I did trade over a lot of guys because the Saints, I wanted wide receiver apprentice before I actually watched the video and found out that he never really used it. So that's why I chose the Saints so we could have Michael Thomas. And then also Kamara with Jukebox, which was an ability that he used as well. I just trade over guys like Kittle, Pitts, and McLaurin just to get some better guys out there. But all right, I just realized I made a mistake on the written version of the ebook, which kind of caused me some confusion initially on this. So I do apologize for that. But I went ahead and flipped the play back to what it should be at. Again, there was some confusion for whatever reason on that first play. I had it backwards or something weird happened, but we have it back to normal. And this is the side that you're going to keep it on for the rest of the ebook, if I'm not mistaken. You will have those certain plays where you'll flip it, but those come, I think we only have like 2 of those plays, I want to say. So we're going to go to setup number 2. With this setup, you're going to put running back on an out route to the right side, and that's all you're going to do. This is going to be a good quick snap setup. First read, we'll check down to Kamara in the flat. Let him go to work, let him do his thing. You'll see a couple of different quick snap setups in this, and especially when you're going to run the football, which we'll go over the runs probably at the end. This can definitely be helpful. You can throw this little crosser over the top if you can get that zone to pull down just enough to where that running back is able to pull him down, and you're able to throw that crosser. Now in this play, it's not going to be a cover 3 beater, but you can actually kind of fit in this corner out deep, as we got hit with some pressure there. But this corner out can get open. It actually almost was kind of the play, I want to say. Kind of the same concept. The last play of the one play on his last drive in that championship game where he ran this play stock and he almost threw it. He had Calvin Johnson on that corner out and he almost got the touchdown, but he just couldn't get the feet in. So you see the corner out can definitely get open if you watch that game, but that was actually stock, which is something that we still will go over. But just a nice little play. Again, good quick snaps. Roll out, probably a better time to throw that than earlier. You don't necessarily have to roll out on this play with your quarterback. You can definitely make these throws from the pocket, but again, it's not really like some crazy play. It's just a quick snap play. You're trying to catch someone off guard, trying to catch them in adjustment or without the adjustment that they want. So it can definitely be helpful in that standpoint. But we're going to move on. And this is going to be a situation where we're going to go ahead and flip, which is what I'm going to go ahead and go back and put on that first play. But you're going to flip it. Now we have it this way. With this play, you're going to wheel RB, streak A, and just slant X. Very similar to the first setup. This is going to be, I think, maybe even a little bit better version of the cover 3 beater. Just throw it deep over the top. And again, we have lower throw power. I'm going to try and pass it to the left side the next time that I do this. So again, we're just going to go ahead and flip, streak A, slant X, wheel RB. We kind of already have a built-in double team on that left side. Super nice. Roll out, pass it all the way to the outside, and you see this is where you can get a walk-in touchdown, more or less. And again, you'll have more speed, you'll have more throw power, assuming that you have a good QB in Mutt. But again, there's not as much to talk about. And he also ran this play, which I didn't put in the ebook, but it kind of goes as a given, with a drag with McLaurin instead. So similar stuff, but just gives you more of a route to user, I think, with the slant than the in route. Just a little bit difficult to defend, and all you need is a second really of hesitation. If you catch them in this cover 3, all you need is really a second of hesitation with the user, and they shouldn't be able to really get back deep enough to defend Michael Thomas. And again, pay attention to the outside third. Sometimes he placed it differently. That time he looked a little bit further back, so just be aware of that. But moving on to our next play, what we're going to do is keep it the same direction, normal. We're going to smart out X. We're going to go ahead block A, which I'm not sure why I put block A. He's already blocked, so I'll probably take that out. But you're just going to drag B and put your running back on an out route like this. And I'm actually going to take out block A just so I remember right now. Because if I don't, usually sometimes I forget, so it's just easier to do it now. But here's the setup. You have a nice little crosser with Y. And this was a play that he ran like a 2nd and 2, or I think he actually ran on 4th and inches, if I'm not mistaken. This is the play that he picked up that 4th and inches conversion on, where he smarted X very short. So if you're in shorter than 10 yards, it might even be a little bit better. But that was the play. It's a pretty good play. Pretty great concept. Just a lot of man coverage beating routes. You have a nice little under drag that you can easily check it down to Michael Thomas here, make a guy miss. And just like that, you have 10 yards plus. As far as some of the other routes, you have that crosser you might want to wait on, or you can throw it earlier. The way he threw it was kind of like right here, which is definitely a good spot to throw it in because you never know with the sideline stuff this year. So, but it's a really good play. It's one that I like a lot and that I run a lot when I run this Deuce close since watching that video. But kind of wait. You see how he's going to come back up, so that's when you maybe, if you wait to the sideline, depending on what coverage, you might want to check it down. But overall, good play with that PA stretch shot. And we'll hop into the last setup for this play. And what you're going to do with this play is actually run it stock. This is the play that I was talking about kind of in the back of the end zone where he was able to roll out, hit Megatron there, and he just couldn't get the feed in, which would have tied the game pretty much, or allowed him to go for 2, win it. But this is a really good quick snap play. You just have a lot of things to defend. You have a deep post if it's a cover 2. That corner out, you kind of have to pass it around it. If you just throw it regular, he's going to keep going up the field. It should be a quick interception. Make sure you pass that to the outside. But you also have this little play action concept where you can just kind of check this down to Kamara. Now he does stop. He doesn't continue running the flats, so you want to throw it before he stops. Something that we did not do there. And again, you just have your crosser, so throw it right here. He's going to catch it on the move. And you see you can really use that juke box ability that he had to your advantage. And again, we'll go over all those runs later. But here we got the next play. It's going to be the play action misdirection. Another really good play with some really nice stock routes. The first setup is going to be put A on an in route, smart route A. And then what you went ahead and did was streak X. You went ahead and wheeled his running back, and then he actually, I believe, motioned him over to this right side. So here's the setup. Blocked his tight end, Kyle Pitts. What I like to do in this is actually to smart out B, get him a little bit deeper. I don't know if that was what happened, but B kind of turns into a deeper crosser that you can throw over the top when you smart out him. When you don't smart out him, it's similar. It's only a couple yards different, but I just feel like he gets a little bit better over the top, personally. So again, you're putting A on an in route, you're smart routing him, you're streaking X, blocking Y, and then you're wheeling the running back, and then you're motioning him over. Be careful, you have to put the running back on a wheel route first, and then motion him, otherwise you can't motion him when he's on that little play action. So this is without smart routing B, and you see they just kind of run in the same distance. I like the smart route a little bit better, but that wasn't what he did, so we're not going to put it on there. Just know that, of course, you're always welcome to change things. You don't have to run it straight by the book, especially with something like this where I think it works better when you go ahead smart out B. But just a nice concept. There's not too many like deeper crossers, and this is kind of one that you can create. So I enjoy using this play, especially if I notice him defending the flats a little bit more, which it would not really be too smart to play under and defend the flats in this offense, especially with all the middle of the field and the wheel routes that you can do. So that was setup number 1. Now, of course, you can throw the in route with the setup. The streaks just kind of clear out. And the running back you can throw as well against good cover 3 defenses. So, all right, moving on. We got our play number 2 with this play action misdirection. And what we're going to do with this play is wheel our running back. We're going to go ahead, flat the tight end Y, and then we just streak X. Now, this play is actually kind of good if you flip it, and I'll show that. That wasn't a play that he ran, but this is kind of the setup that he ran. This is a nice, again, kind of some basic routes. You're not looking to really hold on to the ball too long, you know, if you're running this offense, except for trying to hit a crosser or cover 3 beater. It's a lot of quick throws. You're not trying to hold on to the football, and you really just want to get it out of your hands. I forgot to put X on his deeper route, or his streak. A lot of good concepts in this play. Again, I'll show you what it looks like if you flip it, and I think it looks a little bit better if you flip it, but we're going to stick with what was actually called. And again, just a lot of quick routes. You can definitely hit Michael Thomas in this post route, which is a really good pass. I think when he ran the play, that was the read that he went ahead and made and completed. So, but overall, man, it's just a good play. A lot of just good basic concepts. And I forgot to put the wheel route here, but you have your little drag with Kittle. Again, just basic flats at the play breakdown, but just kind of stretching across the whole field. It makes it very difficult from a defensive standpoint, because what do? Immediately, you have escape artists. You probably want to spy Derrick Henry or Jalen Hurts. Secondly, on almost all of these plays, a ton of these plays, the running back is a key part of them. You're probably manning up the running back. So immediately, 2 adjustments. You're going for a 3-man rush, and then you're putting one of your hook curls in a, man coverage. Then what do? Do you rush 2, put one of your flats, in one of your defensive ends in a flat zone, and then the other one, it just becomes super difficult to use her, and that's why a lot of guys will just go to man coverage against this. But it's just a handful, and it's super annoying. But here's the wheel route against cover 3 money. You have your little in route or flat route. If you see them initially man up Kamara, that's when you go to either Kittle or Thomas, or even that late flat with Kyle Pitts. So that was your setup. Going back to what I said, if you actually flip it, I kind of like this play a lot, and this is what it would kind of look like if you were to flip it. This is not a bad setup, but it's something that was not called, but I think it's a really good setup. So, all right, moving into our 4th setup for this play, and these 2 plays had the most setups, by the way, but with this play, what you're going to go ahead and do, we'll reset it. We're going to go ahead wheel RB. We're going to put Y on an in route, smart out that in route. We're going to put A on an out route, smart out that out route, and flat B. So here's the setup. In game, this is a red zone play he scored on. He actually ran this flipped. It doesn't matter, but it was just going the other direction in case you were wondering. But just overall good red zone concept. Just gives you a lot of things. First route you're always looking for is Alvin Kamara in the flats. Can't express that enough how much you're going to throw that to. Throw him the football. So your next situation is late play. What do you throw to in a late play situation? You have a nice little quick read on this right side. I can either throw it to Thomas, or what I like to do is lowball this to Kittle. He gets open into some nice spots in the red zone. So nice little play there. As far as some of the other things, you have that nice little in route, and the in routes are actually used a decent amount in the offense. So you have your little baby in route, which with some better route running, he's going to cut on that a little bit better than rounding off the top of his route. So nice little concept there, and overall just a nice little play. Again, you're getting the ball out quickly, but this is a nice red zone play. I don't know how good it is in the in the middle of the field necessarily, but I enjoy running this play in the red zone, and I think it's a really good red zone play, which if you're struggling in the red zone, this is a nice play to go to. You have your corner out, which you're not necessarily expecting to throw, but if somehow you catch him off guard with a flat zone, you can definitely open up that corner route. All right, we got one last setup for the PA misdirection. So let's get into it. We're going to go ahead, wheel RB. We're going to flat RB wide receiver. We're going to put Y on an in route. We're going to go ahead, smart out that in route, and then we're going to actually motion the running back this way. So here is the setup. Play looks a little bit weird when the wheel route's going to the left, but once you motion him back to the right side, get him going to that correct spot, makes sense on why you are flatting B. Just again, nice little play. Really has everything. I love the wheel route to the flats. Just with the flat route, it's just going to open up even more. But even without it, the wheel routes are still open, as you probably recognized. Again, here is a look at your setup. And again, I accidentally flatted B or flatted A, but A is kind of just on a drag anyway. But gives you that little crosser going to both sides, opening up the flats on both sides, forcing your opponent to hard flat on both sides. So it does force you to do something there. Again, I just got to remember my setup correctly. But again, you're trying to get the ball out quickly. This is a nice play to get the ball out quickly. You're not having too many quick developing routes. You'll expect the in route will be a lot more open in game. Rarely, as I mentioned, you're going to have to be manning up players, manning up wheel routes when you run against this offense, your defense, and the in route's going to be open a lot more than it is here. This is stock cover 3, 2 hook curls. Rarely will there be 2 hook curls. It's usually just going to be the user manning the middle of the field. So the in route or the drag will be open on every play. I'll show it one more time here. And again, you don't need any abilities to really run these. We're not using any abilities on this play. But again, the quick reads, wheel, the drag, and of course we can throw this flat quickly, but you also have the in route that you can throw quickly, or the drag rather. But yeah, you see when I wait, not much open, and regular cover 3 does a really good job at defending this, whereas regular adjustment coverage would do a bad job. All right, taking us into our next play, we got the tight end angle. First setup, basic little running back route to this right side, which gives you drag, angle route, streak, corner route. And again, a lot of the quick routes, so you're not, rarely, I don't think you threw the corner out once, but what you're looking for is immediately you got seam streak. Second of all, you want the drag. Third of all, you got a running back route, and then kind of late in the play is where you actually throw that angle route a little bit more, where it gets over the top of some of those hook curls, or can actually get like almost 30 yards down the field. He threw a touchdown on that angle route. He completed a really nice pass on his potential game-winning drive on that pass. But kind of roll out, you can throw it in this spot, and it's absolute money. Whether you're on the run or whether you're in the pocket, it's a really good pass, and it's a really hard route to defend as well. And this play is a very quick, snappable play. Again, only with one hot route, and he actually ran it stock as well, which is one of our setups. But just a very good play in general. Super difficult to defend. And especially when you're trying to get your adjustments off before I can get to the line, make one hot route and snap the football, it's going to be a little bit difficult to defend. Especially if they go to match. Match is not going to defend this because you have a drag that's going to beat it. You have an out route, and then you have a angle route which you can throw. Which, why is that hook row playing like that? No idea, but definitely just a good play. And again, if they're playing heavy outside flat coverage, this angle route will be wide open. You can even catch this and potentially rack catch it up the field. So, a very nice play right there. Moving on to setup number 2. What you're actually going to do with setup number 2 is go ahead, flip the play. We're going to flip it like this. We're going to go ahead, wheel RB. We're going to flat A, flat X, and this is your setup. I like this setup a ton. I cannot tell you how much I like this setup. Really good. High-low on the right, on the left. We know about this wheel-flat combination, and then you just add the angle route. It just gives it another thing. The user's going to pick between Kyle Pitts in this situation and Alvin Kamara. Because, again, you can't man up the running back, really. Some people will still do that, which is almost like a wasted adjustment, because if Kamara's manned up, he still gets open, so there's not even any reason to do that. So, again, you flip it. Just set up your play just like so. And again, let's say, wheel routes usered. He users it. You can throw it to Y. You see almost all those guys are open later in situations, but ideally you kind of want to throw it to Y. So again, we'll set up that hypothetical situation. Okay, he users RB. We cannot throw that. So we get shedded, kind of roll out here. We throw Y over the top, or we hit the angle, or we hit the corner out, or we hit the flat route. So those are your reads. Pretty nice, pretty simple play. One more time for you guys. Here it is. I'm going to try and kind of throw this corner out, but you roll out. Let's say he's defended. We check it down to Kittle. If it's not defended, you can throw that corner out possession catch on the sideline. Last setup is going to be just stock. Pretty simple. Really, once again, we mentioned a good quick snap play, so you can just kind of run it stock. The swing route's not the worst in the world. Let's be honest here. So again, it's not terrible, but again, just basic play, good play. You're gonna have the corner out open, which I'll throw next play, but we all know about the stuff. We've been talking about it for a little bit with this play, and corner out open on the sidelines with Terry. So easy pass, easy completion. You're gonna be going against like a stock man or a stock cover 3. Not really good. Going to get all the adjustments off that they might want to, and especially because you consider they're going to have other plays in their mind. They're going to be having to deep half their cover 3 if they're running cover 3 because they cover 3 beater. Manning up the running back, hard flatting, spying, just all that stuff. The likelihood is they don't get every adjustment off. Really good players, maybe, but you have to be super fast. And even then, you might not get an adjustment off with how fast you can snap the ball. So let's go back out. We're going to call stick in all the run plays. Next play is going to be stick. 2 setup for this. First setup for stick is to wheel RB, snap the ball just like so. With this play, when he ran it, he went ahead through it kind of in this particular patch of grass. I don't like this play at all, really, but you're really just hoping that user's on this right side, because look at, this is stock cover 3. Every route is defended except for the wheel route. You can say late in the play, you can throw it to Pitts because curl flat eventually runs with the wheel, but I don't like this play against stock coverage. If they're in the situation where they're double flatting, it can definitely be good because you could probably fit in one of these B routes, but I'm not the hugest fan of this play. So we'll show it twice, move on. Next play, we're going to streak A, streak Y. We're going to go ahead, wheel RB and then go ahead and flat both of our wide receivers. So here's our setup. This is another just kind of weird play, but what you're looking to do is throw it to either tight ends or the running back. It's nice, again, in these late play situations, you have the option to actually throw it to the flats with both your flat routes, but really what you're looking for here is kind of a bot setup. You're looking to throw to these tight ends quick. So you're trying to throw it like right here, complete. It'll be a lot more open without those hook curls, which won't really be there in game unless you're playing a bum. But I think the setup's actually decent, especially with the way Madden is played. A lot worse setups have worked. So again, you get in the scrambling situations, you can throw the flats, but nice little setup there. I like it a little bit better than that first setup personally, but let's get into some of these run plays. He didn't run the ball well at all in that last game, which is why there was a lot of passing setups for me to go to, but the run is still there. So you can run stretch stock. What he did was he also motioned one of the tight ends over to create a fullback, and he used this jukebox. The jukebox, really what he used it for was to actually cut it back inside. So let's say, for example, we're running stretch, we flip it. He would use the jukebox to like cut back in here. And it's a really good, smart idea to do, because sometimes cutting in, you'll get shedded. A lot of times with the juke, because it goes faster, I don't see as much shed. So we go to this right side, cut it back inside. Sometimes it doesn't work. And again, you can get to the boundary. You can go further outside. You don't have to cut it back just because you have jukebox, but it's a good concept. You can cut it kind of all the way out. You see, when you just get more people out. So when you go all the way outside, more guys are chasing you. So I think it's the best way to do it is to kind of run it like this. Cut it back in. And again, depends on how the blocks develop. 4-3, we're in a heavy set, so it is a little bit better defensively. Of course, if they are in weak sets like 2-4-5 odd, I'm not sure why you would be in that against this. But even 3-3-5 wide, the weakness is going to be the cutback. So, but you see when you cut it back without jukebox, it's so slow. With the juke, it allows you to change direction, cut it, back to the left, super easy and super effective. And again, you're gonna get better blocks if you do want to do this. But no passes we had this kind of emotion. So it can definitely be a tell on what you're doing if you do that. But you just say, hey, we're gonna run the ball, and you can ultimately get that motion off quickly, but it just doesn't really give the user any thought of whether it's a pass and a run when he sees that, unless you guys personally have cooked up some passes with that tight end in a fullback spot, which you could have. But that's the stretch. Now we got the wham here. He ran the wham once. He actually ran it in a weird way, but the wham, it's not the best. It's a little bit slower, and I don't like it personally. It can work against those guys who use inside stuff. So if you're playing inside stuff, you can run this. A lot of times it's going to block the D tackle. I'm not sure why the D tackle was blocked. He actually blocked Perryman there, but with the wham, initially you're going to hope that he blocks. I have no idea why it's not working. This is the reason why I don't like the wham personally. He only ran it once, so I'm only showing it a couple of times because it wasn't really used by him. That's the ideal way to block, get the blocking, where your tight end is able to wham the D tackle. You want your offensive lineman to go upfield and block the second level, which is what they did a really good job of there. But in this situation where it's going to take a little bit more stick work if your tight end is blocking up the field, you have to be a lot more patient, let him develop. Our last play, he also ran, I think, only once the halfback zone in the red zone. This play I actually like a lot. It is gap shoot. You can get shot very easily, but if not, you can actually pick up huge gains with this. In the blocks, it gives you a lot. It's just a lot of handoff. It's a lot of time in between the handoff. So these guys, these big boys, can actually get upfield and really get some push, especially if you recognize that you have an advantage on the line of scrimmage. Go for this. You're playing a lower level team. Go for this, and you will see just really good blocking. Of course, we have a mismatch with our offensive line versus their defensive line. You see it clear here. And we're not getting touched until we're super far down the field. Certain situations like that, yeah, it gets blown up, and that's the weakness of it. But give this play a chance, run it a couple times. You can break it free in certain situations. But that's going to do for the video. If you enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.